So this man should have died in a plane crash in Germany yesterday, but instead he's in a car boot in Southwark.
Lucky escape.
Any ideas?
8 so far. Okay, 4 ideas. Maybe 2 ideas.
All right, people, you have just seen a scene from Sherlock, which is in its 2nd season on PBS's Masterpiece Mystery. And Benedict Cumberbatch, who plays Sherlock, brilliantly, I have to say, is here to prove that he's just as brilliant when he's not playing Sherlock.
Oh, God, no. Well,
yes,
I've lost
do
already.
it. Okay, I'm just leaving it to you. Did you have any moment of hesitation when you were offered this?
Oh, huge. I mean, not when I was offered it, because by then I'd read the script, but when I first heard of the idea, I think both Martin Freeman and I both kind of flinched, and the idea of reinventing something which is so iconic and so untouchably brilliant in its original form was sort of distasteful and smacked of a cash cow or some kind of horrible cultural kind of cannibalism, pop eating itself, if you will, and I really shied away from it. I was also a little bit nervous about the idea of stepping into the limelight. I'm realising by playing an iconic figure, I think it's the 75th or 6th incarnation mine, so, you know, well-trodden footsteps.
Really?
Yeah,
so
a lot of actors have had to go before.
Basil Rathbone back in the...
And Jeremy Brett, you must know.
Jeremy Brett,
and Robert
yes.
Stevens, and I mean, it just goes on.
And this guy, Robert Downey Jr.
That little, yeah, that kind of, yeah. I hope he does well. He's got a lot of promise. I kind of went into it with lots of trepidation, but then I read the script and just completely fell in love with it.
There's something about the voice, the tenor of it.
I think, well, I mean, I went back to the original books. Everyone said, well, how did you prepare for the role? I read the books because I knew that was exactly what had driven Mark and Stephen for this daring idea. And we had a lot to establish that was our own to tailor and author. And yet, at the same time, I had to bring, in my mind, I had to bring an element of otherworldliness, or at least other timeliness to him. And coming from a posh boarding school, looking the way I do, having done some period dramas, you know, I think that the fit was very good, and I think that was what Mark and Stephen wanted to use me for initially. And then I read for them, and they were like, "Oh, good, our instincts were right." And it's been a marriage of bliss ever since.
I mean, I don't know if Robert Downey wrote you a nasty note and said, "How dare you? This is my problem."
No, apparently, I mean, because I got to know Jude Law quite well because of working with his best friend Johnny Lee Miller on Frankenstein, and he was. They both really like it, but sort of through gritted teeth, you know. And I love their films. I think they're fantastic. They're great fun, and they're very different takes. Theirs is a sort of modern, not modern, an action thriller take on the original period, and ours is a polar reverse in many ways of what they're doing. So they can both exist in the same time and not treading each other's toes, and I'm thrilled for that. And
well, I don't think that Basil Rathbone or anyone that was doing it in the beginning had anything like the first episode of season 2 with you and the dominatrix.
True.
I mean, that was
true. Yeah, there is we have a little bit more freedom.
How did you want to put yourself forward as this character?
I would say, well, first of all, the deduction scenes are the big kind of walls. I go, wow, okay, that's a good 2.5 pages of incredibly complex plot exposition, but you know, sharpened and polished into this entire narrative. And so I set about work on those quite early on. I look at the action scenes as well. I also think about, you know, the interaction and the growth of the character, the arc, and where the relationships are developing. And I just get itchy to do it, to be honest. I mean, they're just really enticing scripts. You just want to get on and get playing, really. And you know, Martin and I text each other. They often arrive as we're doing the first one. We get the second and then the third.
Martin, who is playing John Watson, and who is
doing that little radio play, The Hobbit. Yeah, it's a BBC 4 drama somewhere. Yeah, no, he's amazing.
What is wrong with Sherlock Holmes? Does he have Asperger's? Is he? What is it? How? Look,
here's the thing. I mean, I think he's basically. He didn't start this way. He's brilliant. He was obviously a bit of a prodigy at school, and an outsider because of that. And I think what happened is, through dint of that isolating experience, he started to hone these very concentrated skills, and they require certain cut-offs. And I think ideally what he's trying to fashion himself into, because he has possibly been hurt, because he does possibly have a heart, is someone who is robotic almost in his logical capacity to deal with people and problems like a machine. And what this series is about, and the gestation of his character and the relationship with Watson that very much humanises and grounds him, is his growth from this sort of impervious, almost superhero level of intelligence acquired through dint of hard work, but still almost unreal. he protects that to a point whereby he can't anymore. He has to, and his guard's let down by his feelings, the fact that he's revealed to be human. So we see eventually a humanization of him, I guess. And I don't know, I think that's his biggest problem, is wanting to be more than human and escape the frailties of being human, but while at the same time being human.
Don't mention the unsolved ones.
People want to know you're human.
Why?
Because they're interested.
No, they're not. Why are they?
And I think he's got a gold complex in a way. He wants to be something above a mere mortal.
Have you picked up any of that, Benedict, by just playing him?
No, your imagination works over time.
Yeah.
So you could be on a train coming back from Cardiff to London, and I'll be sort of looking at the guy opposite, and I'll look at the indent on his wedding ring finger, I'll look at the slight smudge on his shirt, I'll see the small bit of mud on his shoe, and I'll think about the little hair on the sort of bottom of his rolled up trouser leg. Why is that trouser leg rolled up and the other one's tucked into a sock? Someone got dressed in a hurry. So you start to build imaginative pictures. But as he often has, you get into terrible trouble when you try to bring that into reality. And
because he
there are
tends
these
to come
amazing
right
people
out.
called criminal pathologists, so I understand actually do this on a daily basis. So I don't want to, as an actor sort of slipping into the shoes of someone much better than me, I don't want to then start trying to pretend to do it in real life. You get into all sorts of trouble. But yeah, it's a tempting thing to try, definitely. It's a wonderful skill. And I think what's brilliant about him as an icon for kids, and one of the main things I wanted to come of the first series was that people would go back to the books, and they did. The sales rocketed, and it was a happy summer for the Sherlock estate, which I was thrilled about.
Before you can think about what you're going to sing for
Right.
me, I'm just asking for a snippet, a musical snippet that will identify the inner Benedict Cumberbatch to the world that's out there now listening.
Okay.
There's no pressure on this.
Okay. Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. That's as much as I'm going to sing. That's it.
Well, it's Willy Wonka. It's nice. That was fine.
That's
and
all right.
You've
Is that
given
all
us
right?
all that. It is.
I can't. I mean, I'm in New York. I should do a big show-stopping number. God, there's U2 numbers floating around my head. I know.
Quite ambitious, though, to do that. I don't think I would have taken you into...
Oh, you're not going to... Okay, well, all right. Well, then
No, I feel bad now. Maybe you
Do you know
haven't.
what? I'll make a promise. I'll do that next time. I'll do that when I come to talk about
When
Trek
you
and
come
The
back
Hobbit.
for The Hobbit and or Star Trek,
I will give you
it will all
bit
happen.
of my best Bono.
I'm going to hold you to
I'll
that.
give you my best Bono.
Thank you, Benedict.
Very nice
Thank
to
you.
meet you.